Hi, and welcome back to part 2 of the lesson series in how to play outside. And last time I showed you how I played outside, and today I'm going to show you how you can play outside. So we're going to start, I'm going to show you 3 things that you can do to play outside. So we're going to start off with the easiest one, which is how to play a ballad. And I'm going to show you a specific example. So let's say we want to play a B flat, and then you're going to add the 7 and the 9th and the 11th and the 13th with your left hand, and you can also add the root again if you want to. So that's the chord, and for this you're gonna improvise with your right hand. So we need a bass player. Can I have some bass, please? Thanks. Alright, so you're gonna add with your right hand, you're gonna add this scale, which is the A flat scale. So you're gonna improvise using the A flat scale. And that's quite inside and nothing special here, right? And you're gonna add you can also add the E flat scale. So you're gonna switch between the A flat scale, which is like this, and the E flat scale, which is like this. Okay, so now I was changing between the scales. And to make that awkward outside feeling, the bass player is still playing the B flat. And what you will do is to move everything up a half step. So now you're playing the A scale or the E scale. So let's try that. And this is a cool effect that you can use, for example, when you play Misty. And the next trick I want to show you is something that we used last time when we played Summertime 2. And that is to play the C minor pentatonic scale, or whatever minor pentatonic scale, when you're playing over a minor chord. So let's say you are playing a C minor, then it's very nice to play the C minor pentatonic scale, which is the same as the E flat major pentatonic scale. So it's going to be these notes, 5 notes, and you're going to play that from C. So it's C, E flat, F, G, and B flat. And what you do is that you just move that up. So you play 4 notes, and then you play the next 4 notes, and the next 4 notes, and so on. And to make that outside is simply by moving everything up a half step as well. So now we're going to play the C sharp minor pentatonic scale, which is the same as the E major pentatonic scale. Alright, so we're going to play that from C sharp. And you can do different patterns like that. Ascending and descending. Anyway, when you play a C minor, then it's nice to go between those. So that will sound like this. And last time, when I played this for you over the summertime too, I did use this at least once, so let's have a look. And the third effect is something that I call babbling effect. So what is that? Well, when you play with your right hand, you're just pushing out notes. It sounds like you know what you're doing. But sometimes you just play whatever comes to you at the moment. And so it's totally improvised, but then you just play whatever's in your fingers, and it don't need to fit with the chord at all. So let me just give you an example. And I like to do that in a lower register, by the way. So it could sound like this, for example. So that's the babbling effect. You're just pushing out notes, and it's very good to do that when you're playing up-tempo stuff. But when you do that, make sure that you're aiming for the chord that is inside. So what for example, let's say you play a G minor, and that's the chord, then it's good to end on a G minor or a G or something in the key of G. So for example, you can play ending on a G, for example. And specifically how to practice this is quite simple. You just play very slow and make a consistent movement with your fingers, and then you increase the speed. So when you start out with this, you just play whatever you want. And when you have done that for a while, you can increase the speed. And so on. And we did that when we recorded yesterday with my brothers. We did actually do this in the solo. So let's have a look. Here is the summary. To play outside normally means that you go outside with your harmony and melody lines, and you can play outside in many different ways. If you want to play outside, it's a smart thing to master how to play inside first, and usually it's the one that plays solo that sometimes plays outside. And usually when you play outside, the rest of the band, especially the bass player, is still playing inside. I suggest that you stay inside most of the time as you play, and then when you play outside, you do that to create variation and more friction to your music. In today's lesson, we discuss how you can play outside in a ballad such as Misty or any other. Then we talked about how to use the pentatonic scale, and in the end, we talked about the babbling principle, where you just play a stream of notes in your improvisation. I've created an exercise for you for all of these 3 ways to play outside, and you can get this by signing up to my free outside jazz piano mini course. And also in the mini course, I'll teach you the 4th principle called the moving objects principle, as well as the 5th principle with a weird name that I call sneaking up the chords principle. So to find out more, make sure you click on the link under this video and I will send you the invite for the free course, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit like, subscribe and share. And until next time, play a lot outside, have fun, and take care of your music.